I'm probably gonna stick that right here just so you know.
Of course, yeah, it's fine.
I'll make this gentleman sit here all night. Unless you want to. Sit here all night.
I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry.
He said he was gonna make you sit here all night.
This year, and I can't see how this.
I'm kind of the same way.
5 o'clock.
We on?
We're on.
Okay, we'll go ahead and open the meeting here. It's the Attica Board of Works, 11/19/24. If clerk would please take roll call.
Mr. Gaylor,
Present.
Mr. Smart,
Present.
Mayor Grant.
Present.
Okay, Mayor.
Do we have a motion to approve the minutes from previous meetings? Everybody had a chance to look at those?
I'll make a motion we approve.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
There's that. I'm gonna go ahead and jump ahead here. Are you here for utility credits?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go ahead and jump forward to that so you don't have to sit here all evening and listen to us.
Nancy said there were not any utility credits, so I did not bring anything. She said there were none.
Did you have, what was your request? Do you know?
I had a problem with Culligan, and it was the piston was broke.
I think I remember you coming in and talking about that one day. Yeah.
Eric called me, so and I got the original bill, then I got the new bill. What I was wanting to know, maybe I could
The sewer
work out
credit.
a little bit, something on that.
Okay. Yeah, I remember you coming in talking about that because I remember I said I had the same problem.
Oh,
a
yeah,
year
you
or so
walked in the
ago.
door,
Yeah,
what I was talking about.
yeah,
Put it, sit on recycle or something.
yeah. It just keeps running. Mine did that.
I couldn't
keeps running
hear
down
it.
the drain.
The only way you can hear it is if you're putting salt in there. You could just make some real low noise.
Yeah.
And it was on the weekend, so I knew I couldn't go to the Culligan until Monday. So I went
Were you involved in this, Eric?
on a Monday morning. He came
Do
out
you, is it supposed
Monday
to be just a
afternoon. He
sewer
knew
credit?
exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And do you know if this is the right amount?
It happened to
Keeps
you.
recycling. Keep pumping water.
Right. Eric thinks this is right, but I can confirm with Nancy tomorrow. It's a sewer credit.
Okay.
It's not for the water use, but it's
It's a sewer credit.
Right, because we did use the water. It
So what was the original?
Here's the bill, Andy, if you want to look at it.
Extremely
What's your- I
high.
didn't catch your name. What's your
Bill
name?
Pierce.
I had like a $400 one here.
Mine's higher than that.
Yeah, yours like 528 or something, isn't it?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I about passed out.
I bet.
And then to replace the piston was $200.
I just
Almost
went and
been
bought a
cheaper to
new
get a new-
softener.
Well, no, not
Yeah.
for
Well, I had a
That was
used
cheap,
car.
isn't it?
I never had any trouble with
I
it.
got you.
So he says it happens every 6 to 8 years, but I've had that thing for a long time. It's been really good.
Well, as a, you probably got more use out of it than,
Than what it's
expected.
worth.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is what you're proposing that in charge.
I'll have Nancy confirm the dollar amount, but if you want to agree to give him a sewer credit, approximately that amount, then I'll confirm tomorrow, because, yeah, I checked with her and she said there weren't any, so I'm not sure. Must not have just gotten on the report.
But Danny, that happened to you?
Oh, yeah.
I
That's
think it
happened
must
to
be
me.
pretty
They won't
common.
give me a sewer.
We won't give him anything.
Yeah,
He
see,
doesn't
that's,
get
yeah,
anything.
He
that's
does
the
not.
benefit of having a job.
He takes so many vacations a year, he does not need any sewer
Yeah,
credits.
Make a motion.
Yeah, let's make a motion that we give him a sewer credit for the Hooligan mishap.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Eric.
And I'll give this back
Like I
to you.
said,
in
I
just a
couldn't hear it. I
second.
can't hear very well anyway.
Yeah.
And you gotta be right on top of it before you can even hear it. I don't know how yours was.
Mine's in the basement. I just happened to
Mine's in the
be down
basement.
there. Yeah, and I didn't hear it
Mine
until I
was
kind of
too.
went by the door and I'm like, what's that noise?
No, I didn't hear it until I was putting salt in it that day. So should I come back?
I'll,
tomorrow, or-
I mean, if you want to pay it, the bill's due by tomorrow. So if you want to come in tomorrow, I'll say something to Nancy first thing in the morning. and
I'll
have her
come
do
in
that
tomorrow and
adjustment.
see what you guys
Okay.
work out.
Okay. And if she wrote that amount down, then that's probably what it's going to be, or pretty close to it.
That's what she told me.
Alrighty.
But I just wanted to.
And I wrote it
We'll take
down,
care
so.
of it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Wouldn't have to do it all at once, it'd be nice.
We just roll it over.
Well, I mean, the sewer credit, they'll just place it on your bill, so you don't have to pay it by tomorrow. I've gotta pay my bill.
Okay, let's see you guys later.
See ya.
All right,
Thank you.
Thanks.
Again, Mr. Swank, do you have anything?
I do not.
Not under either one of your hats? Okay. I see we have Chief Little
Yes, sir.
and Chief Miller here. today.
Wow.
Wow.
It's been a hot minute.
Chief Little, do you have anything for the?
Just so you guys are aware,
You just came to one and you want to start talking.
we should be accepting bids for the building December 12th. So we should start seeing those come in. Then we'll probably, depending on what those are and when we take the bond, starting the spring of 2025 for building.
There was a question. Did you answer that question to Joanne? She sent you an email about the president of the fire territory.
Yep, I got it.
So you took care of that? I don't need to worry about that? Okay. Because I didn't know who the president of the fire territory
It's
was.
Scott.
Okay,
I'm gonna get with you Thursday.
okay.
Will you send that
This
back
was
to
a
Tom?
building for what?
The addition to the fire station.
Okay, yeah, yep, I
Bond
got
issue.
it. Gotcha, okay.
Is that it?
That's it.
Chief Miller?
I'm seeking an addition to the police station.
Which direction you want to go?
Not too many
I got
directions.
nothing.
Ordinance enforcement is moving forward. I'll say that publicly. Thank you both for doing that.
That's hard.
I know.
Handling all that.
Thank you for allowing her to do that and giving her the time to do that. I know that since we rolled out the ordinance enforcement for the trash totes, which fell under some public scrutiny, that, people pointed out other things that needed to be done, and we're doing those. So bear with us. Thank you. Chief Miller, HWC Streetscape Update. You're on, Eric.
Yesterday, we had a pre-final inspection of the project. We walked, essentially the contractor had identified to us that they had reached what they considered substantial completion, so we wanted to develop a punch list of items that need to be addressed. So there was a pretty large group of us that walked the job from all angles for a couple hours yesterday, and we developed a punch list of items that need to be corrected. Keith Meyer, one of our designers on the job, has developed that list, and we are circulating that, and we'd like the city to review that before we issue it to the company. It's been a little challenging process with this contractor, to say the least. I think Eric Swank would certainly agree with me. We've noted more things on the punch list than we will likely force them to address. There are some things that would be more disruptive to have them try to fix, and quite honestly, I don't know that they could fix them adequately, that it's worth what they would have to do to fix it and the disruption it would cause. But you use some of those items as leverage to get some other things fixed that are more important and more visual and more of a necessity to the long-standing sustainability of the project, the bill. So that list has all of those items on it. So you should all have that. If not already, you should have it tomorrow. If you could give us your feedback on that. Most items on there were not really too contentious, and I think that the contractor is willing to address most of them. There are a couple areas that we're going to push them on that I don't think they were just going to pony up and fix. Particularly, there's some pavement where they cut in the curb and gutter on the north side of Mill. There's some areas where they broke asphalt and the patch looks terrible. So I think they really need to make a nice even cut and replace the asphalt up against the gutter, rather than try to patch these spots. Then there's some spots up against some buildings on the west side of Perry, particularly between Mill and Jackson, that need to have some type of sealant or something to better, some of it's cosmetic, some of it is to prevent moisture from getting in between the sidewalk and the building, to protect that transition from sidewalk to existing buildings. A lot of the other stuff, there's some pavers that they've got to fix that they didn't install correctly, and had a lot more cuts than they should have. So there's some ways that they can do those better, which they agreed to. Handful of things on sidewalks and things that need to be addressed. So it's a fairly lengthy list, but I think most of it can be done in pretty short order before bad weather hits or before we can't get any of this type of work done in the winter. The biggest issue that we had yesterday was on the parking lot. Before I move on the parking lot, there was, and these are visible in case you've seen it, that there's some places where they did the striping that they had some globs of paint where it was just kind of sloppy, and those areas need to be fixed. And then the directional arrows on Perry Street as you approach Jackson, State Road 28, they basically did the striping and did the directional arrows before they put in the detector loops. So they cut through the striping to put the detector loops in. So they're going to have to redo all that, redo the arrows with the thermoplastic paint. So, but on the parking lot, and we've had several of our transportation engineers review this, some of our inspectors that have history with NDOT. Aesthetically, the parking lot is, I would say, doesn't look good. There's some areas where they didn't roll or compact it well. To their credit, there are a lot of curves and a lot of islands in the parking lot. It's not just a rectangular parking lot. So there is some challenge, but could they have done better? I think Eric Swank and I both agree the workmanship was not good. So structurally, our biggest concern is there are areas where it looks like the aggregate is open and areas where water could get in. And in the winter, when you have freeze and thaw, that's when you could have damage to asphalt. What we would suggest, because the contractor refused to do any density testing because they said per spec they didn't have to. Our argument is visibly it doesn't look like they got proper compaction, because in some areas they used a plate compactor because they said they couldn't get a roller there. They've offered a 2-year warranty. We don't think that's enough. Since they have refused to do testing on their own, what we would recommend to the board, and we've had a lot of discussions today since our meeting yesterday, is let's identify areas in the parking lot where density testing should be done, and the city take it upon themselves to do the density testing. If it fails, then the contractor has to pay for the testing and address the problems, some of which could be adding additional years to the warranty. Or it could be, that they fix certain areas of the parking lot. A little bit of our fear is, as bad a job as they did the first time, if they go in and try and mill and fix it, how's it going to look then? I think we need to see if it fails. If it does, then we got some leverage on the main contractor, because the paving is a subcontractor. So then I think we go back to our contractor and say, obviously it didn't meet spec. It needs to be, at least the surface needs to be redone. You either need to hire somebody else to come in and do it right, or you need to ensure that this contractor does it and does it right, because we're not going to accept it until it does look right. So that's, at this point, that's our recommendation, is let's do the testing. when we submit the punch list, we're gonna tell the contractor that the city's gonna do the testing. If it passes, the city will pay for it. We still want an extended warranty because the aesthetics are not what we would deem acceptable at a minimum. We still need to have some discussion before we go back to them after the testing is done. So at this point, we would recommend we do some testing because we think there is a legitimate chance that there are areas of the parking lot that will fail the compaction and density tests that are required.
I do got a couple questions. I know there was a section of sidewalk, and then Rod sent me some information about several, I mean, a lot of landscape plants weren't installed, along with some raised beds, benches, and several other landscape beds. Is that deducted off the top, what they didn't complete, or how are they gonna handle that?
There were stuff we took out of their contract and it's going to be
Okay.
completely separate.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, those planters are going to be directly purchased by the city and put in, not under this contractor. Right after the bid, if you recall, we took some things out to try to get our costs down.
okay.
As we managed the cost, with the unit cost, you worry about quantities going up or down, and we've really kept them right at where their bid price was. We have added some work, like the light pole bases, the conduit. With those additions, the contract stayed where it was, but those items will be taken care of separately, and we're taken out of their contract. Other things like the landscaping, and particularly landscaping not being, some of the grasses were out of alignment, all that is on the punch list and will be addressed.
Okay. To hold them accountable, are we gonna hold some money back, not paying the full amount, or how are we gonna hold their feet to the fire?
We have a couple $100,000 held back right now in
Okay.
retaining.
Okay,
So yeah, that won't be released until, we never release that until the punch list items are complete. And since the parking lot is part of the punch list, we're gonna continue to hold it, so.
okay, thank you, Eric.
Anything else, Eric? Do you need anything from us?
No, I mean, if you guys are in agreement to do the testing, we can help get that coordinated with a testing company. But other than that, if Eric's there, you might ask him if there's anything I missed, but I think I covered most everything that's important.
Yeah, I think you covered all the bases.
He says you covered all the bases.
I say we move forward with the testing, and we don't want that to come back to
Yeah,
have an additional cost because it's pumping or it's sinking or.
yeah, at least then we'll know one way or another definitively whether it's good or not.
Right.
We'll get that moving immediately. And again, if you can review the punch list, then I'm gonna prepare a letter that will be attached to the punch list, and I will send that, Mayor, to you to review along with Eric to make sure you guys agree with what I'm saying to the contractor.
All right, and I'll forward the punch list on to you guys if you don't already have it.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
That's all I got.
Thank you.
All
Have a
right,
good evening.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
So we could get that organized. We'll do the own testing so you can have a company come in and test it.
Yeah, and it's much better that way anyways, because what we offered yesterday was for them to do the density testing. And if they do the density testing, they can hire somebody that's in their back pocket.
Right,
and
right,
say, "Hey, it's
exactly.
okay."
Exactly.
If you do something different, like say Patriot Engineering, I mean, they're gonna be a neutral party if they do it.
Right, that's what you
The
need.
big issue was yesterday is we didn't know if there was a set number for compaction. There wasn't like a true defined number. Well, today HWC has reached out to several different people and companies, and they say 93% compaction is kind of your base rate. That's where it should be, and they would walk through it with HWC. If
Is it just on the edges, Eric? I mean, is it mainly just the edges, or do you feel like kind of the whole
Yes.
area?
As much as I hate to say it, the whole job is just a terrible, I don't feel, like Larry and I talked, I don't feel we got our money's worth on the quality or anything.
Too bad.
I mean, if you stand back and look at it from the highway, it don't look bad, but when you walk it and look down, it doesn't look good. Looks like that water permeable, you know what I'm talking about?
Impervious concrete.
Yeah, that you can dump water on, it just goes through. All right, well, we'll see where that takes us, I guess. Anything else? Okay. Utility, no, I'm sorry, payroll ledgers.
Okay, Joanne? Okay, I'll make a motion, we approve payroll ledgers.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
See that? Go ahead and move on to claims.
Has everybody had a chance to look at claims?
Yes, I'll make a
Did go
motion.
through them, yeah.
We approve claims.
I'll make a motion, we approve claims.
We have two motions. Do we have a
Oh,
second?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I'm
I'll
sorry.
second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yeah. Any other business? We have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
And I'll second.
A motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
The ayes have it.
The ayes have it.
Big game this weekend. Are you in Ohio
Yeah.
City?
I hope
I
they-
wonder-
I hope